Let's do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast. Hey, you know that name. All right, we did it. You know, Riffin with Griffin, a one-man show, so I got to do the music. I got to turn the music on. I got to put the singing mic down. I got to do all this stuff. But welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. I really appreciate you guys being here each week. You know, I like my little crowd. You know, I mean, you're not little, still thousands of people, right? But, you know, in comparison to like, you see these other podcasts and you're like, oh, I wish I had these numbers, but I'm not. I love these numbers too. I love all you guys that keep coming back every week, and I'm trying to grow, and I'm still doing the thing that I do. And here we are. I'm trying to do things all the time, or I think I'm trying to do things all the time. And when I don't like it, I take it away. But anyways, we're back. And remember, you can catch me every day on Twitch at Erik Griffin Gaming. So check that out. Erik Griffin Gaming on Twitch. And in December, I'm hosting a show on Twitch called Potluck with the lovely Lisa Malambry. And it's about all the different types of things on Twitch other than gaming. Like we got ASMR, there's cooking, there's like cooking competitions, there's people that make music, and they come on our show, like a little talk show, and we like expose the Crown Channel audience to all these different things that they have going on Twitch. So make sure you check that out. And that's on the Crown Channel on Twitch, and that's Wednesdays in December. I'm the host of that. It's called Potluck. So make sure you guys check that out. I'm going to try to keep my mouth away from the mic as much as, because I got sinus issues, and somebody sent me a message like, Erik, drink some water. You're making some noise with your mouth, and I can't listen to it on my headphones because it annoys me. I don't know, man. I'm an old ass man now. Look at this beard. I'm trying to do what I do. So, but anyways, welcome to Riffin with Griffin. I'm in mid moving right now. Today I was packing and stuff because next week at this time I will be in my new spot. So it's a lot to get everything when you're I've been living at this place I'm at now for a while now. So you got all your things. You know, when you're moving is when you really start to realize what you need and don't need. So I get things and I throwing them away. And, you know, I'm trying to do that Maria Kondo thing. I don't know if you guys know who that is. It's this like little hippie Asian lady. And she helps people organize. She has a show on Netflix, but she's been around for a long time. She has a book that she wrote. But she's just all about like appreciating the things that you have, and so you let things go with love. It's like, thank you for all the joy you brought me, but I gotta let you go, to like that t-shirt that you got at a concert so many years ago. Like I have things that I'm looking at, like I have posters from like shows I did in little shit towns in America someplace, or some little podunk town, and I have the poster that they made, and I thought, oh, that's so cool that I played such and such town, and I see this poster now and I go, what am I doing with this? I didn't frame it. I didn't really take care of it. So I have a lot of things like that I've just gotten rid of. So I'm in the point right now where I'm like, all right, I'm almost done with all my stuff. And then I see it and I'm like, actually, I don't have a lot of stuff, So I'm looking forward to this move, and it's a nicer place. I can't wait to do my cooking show in my nicer place. And Rachel's excited because she hates this place. So, and I've been here a long time. It's time to move on. So the moving has been good. What else has been going on that I wanted to talk about? I talked about COVID. We talked about COVID a lot. I mean, I know we're all COVIDed out, but it's funny, the things that I've been talking about for weeks and weeks now, just asking about justifying, based off the numbers and all this stuff. And it's like getting really bad in terms of like the numbers of people with the outbreak. But I just want to make something clear to everybody. There's a difference between not straining the hospital system. What I mean by that is like looking out for the hospital system, make sure we have enough beds for people that need it, not just people with COVID, just, there's regular shit that goes on all the time. People get sick and they need to get in accidents and they need beds in hospitals. So we got to make sure we have beds available. And that was the main reason that we shut down in the beginning, because we wanted to make sure we didn't overrun the hospital system. So not overrunning the hospital system and the severity of how COVID is affecting the nation in terms of the numbers, those aren't the same thing. They're not the same thing to me. And right now, we have to take extra precautions because we're starting to see it now that we're overrunning the hospital system. And, I'm starting to see it. I see all these news reports, and because I always used to say, like, they always say, where are all these people in mass numbers getting COVID at the hospital? You don't see it, but now you're starting to see it. Since the opening up and all this stuff, and people not wearing masks, excuse me, and all the things that people are, whatever people's feelings are about it. And so now you're starting to see that. So I am a proponent of like, hey, we got to make sure that our frontline workers, the doctors and nurses, and that they're not overrun, and that we have hospital beds for people that really need it. So because like people are recovering from COVID more than they are dying by a large number. And we're also doing way better in terms of the mortality rate, but people are still getting it. And some people that do get it, they get really sick and they need medical attention. So guys, let's, be safe. I'm so tired of these people that are like with their masks and like these people that don't believe in science. I just don't get it. What does it hurt? But the science, like all the best scientists are saying, wear a mask. It does help. It's like I saw this article about this restaurant where the guy was like, he had a no mask policy. You don't wear a restaurant on my mask. It's like, so then why don't you also undercook the chicken? Yeah, the chicken's red. Oh, you know why you don't do that? Because science says that you can't have raw chicken. It makes you sick. But you're one of these people that you don't believe in science, so you can have anything you want in your place. Like, if somebody said to you, hey, this chicken ain't cooked right, you're not gonna be like, well, that chicken looks fine to me. You're gonna be like, oh, I know why I need to cook this chicken, because if you get sick, you're gonna sue me or whatever, whatever the science behind it. It's like people use science willy-nilly when they want it, so I don't know. It's like, I'm just so tired of like having arguments with anti-maskers or, I'm an anti-masker in a sense of like, I hate wearing it, but I wear it. Just like, I don't like wearing seatbelts. It's tight, especially when you're fat, you know what I mean? The seatbelt cut into you, but it makes you safe. And then with a mask, you're making other people safe is really what it is too. It's like the dentist wears a mask, not just to protect them from your breath or whatever, so they don't infect you. They're looking in your mouth. Your mouth is open. Doctors wear gloves and masks so you don't get an infection when you're on the operating table. They wash their hands so you don't get sick. That's why they do all that kind of stuff. It's not just for you. It's for our loved ones and people around us and our, everybody out here. So do that. And then they had the big news is the vaccine. So they, it's 95% effective in one set of people, 94% in others. You know what I found interesting? It's 100% effective in Black people. I thought that was, and it's crazy because all my Black friends, and some people in my family that I still keep in contact with, they're like, these are the kind of people that don't want to take vaccines. They're like, I ain't taking no vaccine. You know what I mean? But it's like the only group that it's 100% effective, according to like whatever article I saw, So it's like, I talked to my buddy Ian Edwards. Ian, funny kind. I just got off the phone with him, and Ian was like, I ain't taking it right away. I didn't want the first iPhone. That's how he said it to me. And I was just like, there's people like that. So, but I'm not going to engage. I tell you something right now, man. It's one thing to argue with an anti-masker. It's one thing to argue with someone like, you get into these arguments about COVID all the time with people. It's people who think it's like it's the most serious thing ever. And there's other people who are like, it's a hoax. And you have all these people that are in between, and you get into arguments with them about, should you wear a mask? Should you not wear a mask? What's the safety of it? And it's all anecdotal actually too, in terms of like how people feel about COVID. I mean, let's be real about that. It's like if you have someone in your immediate family that has died, someone personally that has died from COVID, or you've been to a funeral, it's personally touched you. I don't know a lot of people that it's personally touched them in terms of death. I don't know one person personally that has died from COVID. I know people who know people. You hear about a comic or two I've heard, and I go, I never met that guy, so it's touched my, professional circle, but I don't know anyone. Okay, and I think that that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be safe or whatever. I'm just trying to tell you, I understand how people feel, why people have certain feelings about it, because you don't know. I tell you what, but I know a lot of people in my immediate circle like 1 degree of separation friends who have gotten COVID and have gotten over it and are fine. So if you know a lot of people like that, and then you're sitting here going like, why are the restaurants still shut down? Why am I out of work still? I saw what Bill Gates said. Oh, we should close everything down till we shouldn't go to bars and restaurants till 2022. What, bitch? What? Hey, are you gonna pass out some of those billions that you got in the bank? Like these rich motherfuckers who think like, here's what you should do. Yeah, you're gonna be sitting in a palace with servants and shit for 2 years while we out here struggling. You know what I mean? And there's people watching my podcast who are like, what are you talking about, Griffin? You're gonna be doing better than me. So I totally get it. Like, it's like we gotta know how this affects people's lives. And it's like for him to say something like that, it's like it'd be great if he was like, look, everybody's going to be struggling, and so I'm getting all my 1%ers that I know that have billions of dollars in the bank. We're going to now help all the companies that we work for. We're going to pay everybody's salary for 2 years. We're going to take the L and we're going to pay everybody's salary for 2 years. Are they going to do that? No, they're not. The rich going to keep getting richer. They got, and they're the ones telling us how we're supposed to act, and we're out here struggling. So anyways, how people feel about the virus is very anecdotal in terms of like what it means to them personally. And that sets their mind frame, their state of mind of like how they feel about it. So, but look, all I'm trying to say is let's be safe. Let's be as safe as possible. I'm glad this vaccine is coming out. I'm going to take it. Like, again, what I was trying to get into is like, I'm not going to argue with people about the vaccine because that shit's crazy. Like all the vaccine stuff has been debunked. If you're one of these people that believes vaccines give people autism, get out of my face. I'm not going to engage in arguments with people with the vaccine like I did with like COVID or like with the masks and stuff. If you don't want to take the vaccine, keep that shit to yourself. I don't care. Because it won't matter to me. Because I'm going to take it. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to move on with my life. You haven't taken it. So if you get it, that's on you. You made your choice. But I'm not going to engage in this back and forth of like, well, like I'm not a conspiracy theorist like that. You know what I mean? Listen, I hope the best of it. I hope the best of people. I hope the people that like I was watching this show on Amazon. It's an old British show. It's called Utopia. And then the John Cusack is a star, but it's about this company, and these kind of like it's like a cult, and they want the best for the world, but they go about it the wrong way. Obviously, those are always the good stories. People that have good intentions, they go down the wrong path, And so they have this whole thing where there's this killer virus, and they come up with this vaccine, but the vaccine actually was to like neuter everybody so they can make the population go down. So they were going to put out a vaccine where, no one could get pregnant for like 5, 6, 7 years. And they said, that's how we'll save the planet. So that was their plan, but they were going to do it in a horrible way. So yeah, you have conspiracy theorists about, the vaccine, and that's what people think. They think, well, it's giving people autism. It's, I don't take anything the government gives me. It's like, well, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? I don't believe like that. I think the best, and I think that this is something that is important, and a lot of scientists have been working on this, and I'm just hoping for the best. So I'm not going to engage in in all your nonsense about like you think that this is the Illuminati trying to kill us all. You know what I mean? Like it's like, come on, So take it or not. And then here's another thing too. I'm not like wearing a mask and not wearing a mask. That's already proven that it's safer to wear a mask and not spreading the disease and the virus and all that. But when it comes to taking the vaccine, you can keep your shit to yourself because you're not going to get on me. Because if you're taking it, take it. Then you don't got to worry. Okay, if I don't take it, don't worry about if I don't take it. You just take it. That's how I'm going to be too. I'm going to take it, and I'm not going to worry about if you take it or not because I know I'm going to be cool. That's even more than the mask situation. So let's hope that this vaccine rolls out. It's not going to be smooth. It's going to be crazy. There's over 300 million people in the country. It's just not going to be like until they can get it at CVS where it's like, COVID, cold and flu or whatever, where you could just go down to like, they can put it in Happy Meals until it's like that accessible. It's going to be a situation. So let's get it to the old people. Let's get it to the frontline workers. Let's get it to doctors and nurses and those kind of people, medical people. Let's get it to the military. Let's get it to the older people. And then, we'll trickle it down to like, who needs it the most, and then hopefully in 2 years we'll look back and remember when we couldn't go to restaurants. Remember when we were all acting crazy. So, excuse me. I hope for the best. All that rambling. I hope for the best. You know what I mean? What else is going on in the world? You know what I want to talk about is like, and this isn't, guys, this isn't politics right now, okay? Because I know I get sick of talking about politics too. And people, you know, if you watch my podcast regularly, you know, I don't take a one side or the other. Like I'm not like I'm not a right wing or a left wing type person. I'm very in the middle. I like to be reasonable about my thoughts, you know? So just to get some election talk for a second. So we're knee deep in this right now. Trump had all these lawsuits. He's trying to overturn the election. He's trying to me, it's undermining the democracy, what he's trying to do. But let's say they actually believe that the election was stolen. And there are people out there who believe this because of their rhetoric basically that the one side is putting out. But it is a testament to our system because we have a system of laws and rules and justice. We have a system in place where it's innocent until proven guilty. We have a system in place that we have oversight, where we have the judicial system and we have all these laws and rules in place. To me, it is a sign that it is working when this case has gone all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, by the way, that is now Republican dominated, you know, people elected by Trump, and everybody's worried about this. The fact that they have, and I think that it's a shame that we challenge the integrity of the highest level, you know, yes, they might have their leanings. Okay. But to me, for them to get to that point, all the things you have to do, you have to be a lawyer, a paralegal first, a lawyer, and all, whatever you are, you know, whatever the law process to get all the way to become a judge, to get to the highest court in the land. I would hope that these people are of the highest integrity and intelligence, and they can make an informed choice that is right, you know? Like they're not going to overturn Roe versus Wade. You know what I mean? They weren't just going to give Trump the election. They actually threw out his case. They said, get this bullshit case out of here, man. And to me, that was a testament to the system working. When a bunch of Republican judges too said, man, stop it. You're undermining our democracy with this nonsense. When, you know, that is a sign that the system works. And I think we should be proud in this moment. I think we should be proud as Americans that through this, and I understand the guy don't want to leave office. He's doing all he can to stay in office. Okay. He's throwing, and to know that someone like that can just throw everything at it to try to win the election, to try to steal it, basically, you know, for him to do all that. And then for the courts to go, okay, you had your shot. We don't like it. Stop it. It didn't work. You didn't win, bro. Move on. I think that's a proud moment for the United States. It's in our darkest times, how we handle adversity. That is a testament of being a true, great, and powerful democracy. And so I like, regardless if you voted for Trump or not, or if you're pro-Biden or against Trump or against Biden, all that, we have to know that we could take a side and the system will make sure we're doing the right thing. Now, I know there's people watching who think that there's millions of votes and Trump should have won. I don't believe that. I think that, like, even in these Republican states, they're coming out and saying our election was run fairly and we did our job and we made sure it was accurate. You know, of course, there's always going to be some tomfoolery going on. There's always going to be some nonsense, you know, because we're human beings, and human beings are selfish and greedy, and you know what I mean? So there's always going to be people trying to do something bad. But at least we have this system of checks and balances, and even the Republican places were like, nah, this ain't right. So, you know, Texas trying to sue, and it's like, good. You try to sue, and then these people said, no, this is stupid. We're moving on from this. So I just think that's a proud moment in history for me. So congratulations, in America. You know, in the United States. And let's see what happens. Let's get Biden in and move on. Trump wants to come back in 4 years. He can. You know, apparently that you could do that. You get 8 years total. so he can get his shit together and come back and run again. And you people that support him, because he can win again. He actually could. I can see him winning. He can learn from his mistakes and figure things out. He got a lot of votes, people. He got over 70 million votes. That's a lot of people that like him. So we'll see. But for now, let's just respect the system and move the hell on. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. Okay, what else is going on? I've been watching The Mandalorian on Disney Channel. I don't know if you have Disney. The Mandalorian finally came out. It's only 8 episodes. It's the best thing on the Disney Plus. I mean, other than like if you want to watch the Avengers and all those stuff, you want to watch all the old movies. I love all that stuff. I love watching Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. I love the cartoons and all that. But at the same time, like this is a streaming platform you got to pay monthly for. So, give me some new content. And then you find out all those other shows are not going to be on anymore. All those Avengers shows and all that stuff. I don't know where that content is, but it's not coming on. But I tell you, it's worth having just for Mandalorian. I love that show. But by the way, they're not even my sponsor. So I'm just letting you know, I'm giving you my suggestion. If you want to get a streaming service, I would get Disney Plus, but I would only get it if you bundle it, because you get ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus. You get all 3 of those, and it's worth doing. I'm just telling you right now, it's worth, because Hulu by itself is totally worth it. I love Hulu, because Hulu, you get to watch all those network shows from certain networks like Fox, CBS. There's certain networks that if you don't even need cable. Like that's another thing too, is I can't get cable at my new spot. So I'm trying all these new TV things. So my first one I'm going to try is YouTube TV, because I want to get the YouTube TV is only a few of them that have the NFL Red Zone channel. And I want NFL Red Zone channel, and YouTube TV's the one that you could get it at. So I'm going to try YouTube TV with it, because I get some real fast internet at the new place. So I'm getting rid of cable, and I'm going to try it like that. But Hulu, I'll tell you, Hulu's great. I love Hulu. So if you have Hulu, and then if you like ESPN, if you're a sports guy, you get that. And it's only like $1. Like let's say you have Hulu and you get the commercial free Hulu, it's only $1 more, and you get Disney Plus and ESPN. So it's totally worth it. So that's my suggestion to you if you want to. If you asked me, Eric, is it worth getting Disney Plus? It is, if you do it the way I just said. And by the way, before I even get into Mandalorian, I saw this great movie last night on Hulu. It's called Run. Oh man, let me see who's in this. I get Sarah Paulson. That's her name. Is that her name? Yeah. Wait. Let me look it up. One man show. I don't have a Jamie. Run movie. Here we go. Yeah. It stars Sarah Paulson and this young actress Kira Allen. Oh man, there's not even a lot of people in the movie. It's really Sarah Paulson and this girl the whole movie. And okay, so she's a mom. Sarah Paulson plays a mom, and she has this like handicapped daughter. Like the girl's got heart problems and asthma, and she's in a wheelchair because her legs don't work. And the movie, you find out that the mom has this big secret. I don't want to take it. It's a big spoiler, but it's totally worth it. It's creepy. It's one of these creepy psychological, and it's so good. It's just some of the choices that the director made, like, the girl, she's like handicapped and whatever, so, but the mom, she's a shut-in. Like the girl doesn't get to leave the house, right? But she's smart and she wants to go to college, and she applied for college, and she's waiting for her acceptance letter. And the mom's all like, if the acceptance letter comes, you're going to be the first person to open it. I promise you. So they keep showing the mailman coming up in the movie, right? And the girl's like with her wheelchair, she's like, I got to go see what's going on, right? And then like the mom, all of a sudden it's right there. She's got the mail, and she's like, no, it's not here, honey. Look. So there's this great scene where like, the mailman comes and the girl's going, and then the door flies open, and it's the mom, right? And she's got the mail, but the camera pans over to the car, and the car door is like open, and it implied that the mom ran from the car over to the thing. And just the way that imagery, that shot, it said a lot without saying a lot, So it was a well-made movie. I highly recommend watching it. It's on Hulu. Run with Sarah Paulson. She's from she's always in American Horror Story, and you've seen her in a bunch of things. She's actually playing a lot of like creepy characters lately, but this one is great. So I do recommend that. But anyways, back to The Mandalorian. Love me some Mandalorian. I've talked about it before, but let's talk about it again. Who cares? Because maybe your first time to the podcast, all right? But let me tell you one of the things I love about The Mandalorian. I might be repeating myself from a previous podcast, but like I said, I don't care. So one of the things, it's shot so well. Like, you believe the world, you believe the tension, the music, the angles, and the performances. Like, the thing is, the guy, well, let me look up I want to see, because I want to see the guy's name. Mandalorian TV series, yes, cast. Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal plays Mando, the Mandalorian. He's so good. This dude is so good, and you never see his face. But I believe what's happening. I can't explain how emotionally invested I get in The Mandalorian each story. The things that are going on the show. Now, one of the things I really love about it is they're using a lot of CGI. But the way they make you not actually notice the CGI is they use puppets. Like the baby Yoda, okay, which we know his name now. I forgot it already. I like calling him Baby Yoda. He's a puppet. It's clearly a puppet. It looked like a puppet. You just go, why the hell are they using this puppet? But because they use this puppet, there's something about that draws you in. But then also what it does is it makes you forget about all this other CGI that you're seeing, because it's fooling you, because you're like, well, this isn't real. So because that's not real, and because they're using a puppet for that, and you could totally tell it's a puppet, well, that means all this other stuff is real. Like it's a trick in the back of your head. You know what I mean? Anyway, I love that choice, using the puppet. But you really feel this emotional connection between this puppet and the guy playing Mando. You feel it. And then it's like he's this great hero too. He always wins. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter, and he's got honor. He's an honorable motherfucker. You know what I mean? He has this code, and one of the things I love about this season is he meets other Mandalorians, and then this is the way. So when he met with it, when you first see the Mandalorians and you see the other ones, they are zealots, man. They are like hardcore monk level commitment to the Mandalorian way. Then you meet these other ones, and then you realize, oh, his group, they actually might be in the wrong. They might be too extreme. Maybe he can't take his damn mask off. You don't got to be so, but you believe he's playing it so well that with his voice acting that you believe this dude, right? So I love it. Every single story is great. They're all self-contained in a way. Like there's always some little adventure that he goes on, the B story in that particular thing that carries you through. And I love it, man. It's been great. And then Bill Burr made another great appearance. He was great. It's funny to see Bill Burr because he feels so modern. He feels like he's from our world, if that makes any sense. So it's like when you hear about the way he talks, you're in your mind, you're like, where in Star Wars universe do you talk like that? Like, where are the people that, from Boston, you know what I mean, that talk like that in the Star Wars world? You know what I mean? So you wonder, what world is that he's from? And we're like, oh, he's from Boston. You know what I mean? It's so he brings that sort of groundedness of oh, he's from Earth. You know what I mean? It's just funny to me. But he was great. This last episode, he had a great little thing there. So I do recommend you watching, just for Bill Burr. But I love it. Like I said, I love how it's filmed. To me, this is some of the best work in the whole Star Wars franchise, in the whole genre. I'm talking about cartoons, TV shows, movies. This is some of the best Star Wars work. And I hope they continue it. I really do. I hope the people that make this story make other stories, Jon Favreau and all those guys, because they're part of the Avengers people, They're the ones that started it off, they made, Iron Man, and they started off this whole Avengers Marvel universe 11, 12 years ago. So I hope they do the same thing in the Star Wars universe, because it's totally worth watching. It's a really, really good show. So I highly recommend you guys watch The Mandalorian. So That's that. So now we're gonna get into real world advice from a grown ass man, and I got my iPad here now because every time I do this, and I want to say I appreciate everybody like hitting me up. I get a lot of great questions. I get a lot of like I really feel like I'm sharing myself with you, my audience, especially when you send me all these really questions, like great questions, a lot of personal questions. I try to get to them all, but I can't. So I'll answer some of them on Instagram, and then I have a few that I put on the show. But I do appreciate you guys trying to, just connect with me and me giving you a little nugs of wisdom that I have from the world. But listen, I'm no expert, and sometimes I get some questions that I go, oh man, this person really needs some help. And I always encourage you to go get some therapy. And I think because I've been doing that, I now have a new sponsor of the show. So my new sponsor from the show, this segment is brought to you by BetterHelp. That's better, H-E-L-P, help. And when you go to betterhelp.com/Griffin, you will get a discount being a Riffin with Griffin follower. So I really do encourage you to go get some help if you need some help. And even if you're not someone that asks me questions, you're just watching right now and you're like, man, I'm feeling a certain way. Because a lot of people ask me about they get questions about, I have a lot of anxiety and they feel depressed and they feel like they haven't found their way. And that's what this is all about. That's what BetterHelp is all about right now. So it's like a lot of things interfere with our life. A lot of things interfere with our happiness and health. And you go to like I say, therapy doesn't solve the problem for you, but they help you organize your thoughts. They help you connect the dots. They help you realize that, oh, this is because of something that happened in my childhood. Or they help you figure out like, oh, wow, I didn't realize I felt this way about such and such. And that's what therapy does. And it helped me tremendously. Just dealing with boundary issues and dealing with like, how do I deal with what's happening with my mom and, dealing with the dementia and dealing with my friend who's like a brother to me, dealing with his alcoholism and then dealing with like having this new person in my life, Rachel, and like, am I ready for that? And just like really like helping you focus and like I say, connect the dots to your feelings and emotions and why they affect your actions. And a place like BetterHelp is going to really help you with that. And that's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. They're going to assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. This is true professional therapy. They connect you in a safe and private online environment. It's convenient, and you can start communicating with somebody in under 24 hours. That's how easy it is to set up. And this isn't, like I say, this is not self-help. This is professional counseling. You can send a message to your counselor at any time, 24 hours a day, and you'll get some timely, thoughtful responses, which is what we want. You're going to get timely, thoughtful responses from a professional counsel. And it's all without ever having to sit in some uncomfortable, waiting room. And that's the part I tell you, it's tough when you're going to therapy because there's a stigma to therapy and we demonize it. And, when you're in that waiting room, you're looking around, and you might be thinking, oh man, am I crazy? Are they looking at me funky? And it's like, so, BetterHelp, it takes away that feeling because you're going to be doing it in the privacy of your own home. And I also do recommend when you do therapy like this, sit on your couch, sit in a chair, put your laptop, whatever you're using, set it on a table, some distance away from you, and set up the environment that like as if you were going into an office so you can really get the full impact of it. So, BetterHelp, man, they're licensed professionals and they help you with all the things that you guys ask me about. It's like depression, stress, anxiety, relationships. They're going to help you with trauma, anger issues, even LGBT matters. If that's something that's going on in your life and you're having trouble with your family accepting you, or you're having trouble accepting yourself, or dealing with any kind of issues of grief and self-esteem, they're here for you. Everything you share is confidential, obviously. It's convenient, it's professional, and most importantly, it's affordable. Okay? I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/Griffin. You got to go there. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, everybody, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Griffin, and start living a better life today. All right. So I did that one live in full effect right here in front of you guys. I usually like to copy bit, but I thought, I'm doing real world advice from a grown ass man, and I want you guys to know that I got this new sponsor, and like I say, I'm all about us, because this is tough times right now. We're living in tough times. It's difficult with the stay at home order. I'm in California, so the stay at home order is tough. We were just starting to feel a little bit normal going to these outside restaurants, and then that got shut down. So now we're back again, and we're thinking, oh man, when is this going to change? So I get a lot of questions. So here's our questions of real world advice from a grown ass man. All right, first up, what is the most impactful advice you can give to a man in his 30s? Well, sometimes I hear a question like this, and I feel like the subtext of this is maybe you feel like you're not doing enough. I just got to my 30s, and what's my life right now? And I'm just trying to tell you right now, it's never too late to start anything. So my advice for you is to know that it's not too late. I just want you to know that I started my professional comedy career, and I'm talking about going to open mics and realizing that I wanted to be a comic, and it started when I was 30 years old. So you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So just the thing you need to do right now is focus, plan, set goals, and try to achieve them. And the thing is, you have to believe that you can do it. That was the hard part for me, just talking about myself right now, is like when I knew I was funny because everybody kept telling me I was funny, and I believed I was funny. But can I be a professional comedian? That's the thing that held me back for years. But the moment I said to myself, oh, I can do this, I will. But I had to believe it. And when I did believe it, I made it happen. And I'm telling you, like, and this is all within reason. Like, if I said I'm going to be an astronaut, no, because I know deep down I can't be an astronaut, right? So what I'm saying is there is a moment that you have with you and yourself, you and your whatever you believe in, you and your God, because you can't lie to yourself. You can't lie in your head. In your head, when you know you can make it, that's the moment. When you believe you can make it too. Not even just know you can make it. When you believe you can make it, that starts to you knowing you can make it. That's when your life will change. And it can happen at any age. So that's my advice to you. Good luck, buddy. Next one. Spent 4 years living with my now ex, feeling isolated in quarantine. How do I progress? Well, I mean, that's like, because, when you live with somebody for 4 years, you have a familiarity. There's this like homey feeling. There's this like comfortableness. There's this like, you have this like this rock. Even when a relationship is bad, at least they're there, and having the proximity of somebody around you, we don't realize how important that is until it's gone. So right now, I know you're feeling isolated and you're missing that, and you're thinking, oh man, I wish that was back. But it's just moving. You got to move forward. Look, we're human beings. We adapt to things. It's the reason why we can live in Alaska and we can also live in Phoenix. We can, because we're humans, we can adapt. We can adapt physically, and we also can adapt emotionally. So that's what you have to start doing. And I give this advice all the time, almost every time I do real world advice for a grown ass man. It's time for you to look after you. Start working out. Start setting up hobbies. Start trying to achieve those goals. Maybe it's time to clean up. Maybe it's time to look around your house and rearrange things. It's time to really work and focus on you. Now, in the quarantine right now and all this that's going on, it's harder to meet people. But you know what? That doesn't mean it's impossible. People, the dating apps are still effective. You go on Instagram, meet people. Start setting up Zoom dates where you're getting to know someone. And I think, I highly recommend that. It's so much better than just texting someone for 6 months and then you finally meet them and you realize, I don't really like you, even though you've built up this expectation in your head. No. Get on the phone with them, FaceTime, do these Zoom dates, sit down and, on your couch, they sit on yours and you guys try to get to know each other like that. Make the effort so that you feel isolated, then make the effort to not feel isolated by doing the things that someone would do that's not isolated, So connect, reach out, and good luck, my friend. Good luck. All right, let me get my phone goes dead because I keep yapping too much. All right, next one. What's a good way to get out of a slump and embrace your creative side? Well, it's like, what is your motivation to get creative? For me, it's always like but see, it's easier for me. That's like, I shouldn't say that, but it's just like, 'cause I'm just in touch with like flying off the handle. So for me, it's like when something happens. Like I remember I saw the movie Insidious. I remember the day I saw Insidious. That movie scared the shit out of me. Okay. And I went to the comedy club after that. And I just went on stage and I started talking about scary movies and how that movie made me feel. And that turned into like a really great bit of mine that I have on my half-hour special that I did on Comedy Central, and where I talk about Insidious. And it's just like one of those bits that I really love doing, but it came from, the inspiration was that thing that happened to me. So what is your inspiration for your art? Like, what do you like to write about? What do you like to draw about? What do you like to sculpt about? What do you like to sing about? What do you like to write poems about? What inspires you? Art is inspired by living. Art is inspired by the things around us, feeling things, And if you're feeling shitty right now, art is inspired from that too. Taylor Swift has made a whole career out of feeling shitty, So I think that you just have to. You're only in a slump because I think you forgot to live. So I suggest that you live, live and really document it in your head. Because art comes from it can come from the smallest things. It can come from the biggest things. So you just have to live and observe, and then you'll realize you're actually not in a slump. You just haven't noticed the things that are right in front of your face. So good luck. A real good longtime friend didn't invite me to his wedding. Is it bad that I felt kind of sad? Well, if it's recent, I totally get it. We should all be happy that we don't got to go to somebody's dumbass wedding, right? But at the same time, I totally understand how you feel. I've experienced this myself. I have a bunch of comic friends that I think are I thought, oh, we're really good friends. We're really close. And they've gone on to get married and have babies and have these really important life achievements and things that happen. And I didn't even get a call. I was just a second thought. So I understand. It's just, you just have to you have to know who your like close friends are. And it's okay if someone that you're not in that person's immediate circle, you might know each other, you might even have good times together, but you just have to understand that like not everyone is as close to everyone that we think. Sometimes it's just like, this is a nice relationship, but it doesn't go to the level of like, I'm spending money on a place setting at my wedding because my wedding already $30,000 because my wife want to invite everybody in her whole life. You know what I mean? It's like, it's their party. I totally get why you feel the way you feel, and you should. There's nothing wrong with feeling like, oh, that kind of hurt. I thought we were closer, but you have to ask yourself, does that mean you're not close? No, it's just that this is their special event, and they have it in their head how they want this party to go, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't like you. But I understand why you're feeling. Just process your feelings and move on from it, and don't let it affect how you feel about that person. But I've been there, man. I totally have been there with this exact same thing. So you just kind of go, for me, the way I handled it, I just was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not as close to that person as I thought. It's okay. But then when I really started to think about it, I was like, well, shit, yeah, we don't talk on the phone that often. We barely text each other. I see him at the comedy club. We've traveled together, but it doesn't mean that we're like best friends. When you really start to evaluate your friendships, the ones that should invite you to your wedding, they will, But it's like, just because you've experienced a few moments with someone, it doesn't mean that you're at invited to the wedding level. But especially, like I say, now in COVID right now, no one's going to weddings, and which is like great. Like I need to marry Rachel right now. So that'll be the cheapest wedding ever. Because if I wait till everybody's got the vaccine, then it's like, what? Why are all these people here? I don't even like these people like that, So I totally get it. And like I say, just process your feelings and move on from it, and don't hold it against them, because they're going through stuff too. You right? You know what I mean? All right, buddy. Next one. Do you ever compare hardships from the past to hardships now and tell yourself to suck it up? Yeah. And this is generational too, though, too. Like, it's like, how you hear your parents will say like, back in my day, we had to do this. And so, but it's all relative to your own experience. And so as you get older, though, you start to look back and be like, man, I remember when I thought that was tough. And you're like, now you're dealing with, or or you're saying to yourself, oh man, I remember how hard it was to do A. And now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking that what I'm doing now is just as hard as that was. And you got to go, oh no, this isn't even that hard. It's just about having, like, use some common sense and look within yourself and just have some understanding of what you're all going through. Just, it's all relative. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Just look at yourself and just be like, be a realist, It's like, oh, you know what? I am sitting pretty right now. And so this isn't as hard as I thought it was. Or it might be like, oh, wow, things used to be easy for me, and now I have to work a little harder. It's just assessing what's happening right now. Look at the equation and try to figure it out. But I have compared. I'll look back and remember, like, trying to get on at open mics as opposed to like trying to be a headliner at clubs. What struggle was. What was harder, like trying to pay bills while I was like trying to like still do comedy and stuff was like really hard. So now I think, when I'm sitting here and I'm complaining about like, oh, how come I couldn't do this? I couldn't get a window seat on the thing, or man, they're not flying me first class. And I'm thinking back in the day when I had to drive, like, I had to drive over 1,000 miles in 3 days to like drive all over Montana to do comedy. You know what I mean? And just complaining like, well, he's not even going to pay for my gas. It's like, you know what I mean? It's all relative. So yeah, I do compare sometimes, and I do tell myself, hey, suck it up. And it's a good thing to check yourself, because that's really what you're talking about, is check yourself before you wreck yourself, son. So good luck, man. Here's another one, guys. These are good ones today. Broke up with my long-term girlfriend of 4 years just over a month ago. Any advice? Well, I mean, you're leaving a lot of subtext here. Like, so I guess I have to read into it. Like, do you miss her? Do you not miss her? You know what I mean? Are you thinking? Because like, when you've been with somebody for so long, you get into a routine. You start. You eat together, you sleep together, you know what I mean? Like, you have like, it's a us situation. It's always us. We're going to go do this. Or you're checking in like, hey, I'm going to do this. Is that okay with you? And so when that goes away, now you have to live your life as a single person. And it's a tough transition. So again, what I always say, work on yourself, work out, eat better, organize, get some hobbies, try to achieve some goals, set some goals, see where you are in life, and be the better version of yourself. That's what I suggest you do. That's my advice. But if you're sitting here thinking like, maybe I want to go back with her, it's always, we always going to feel that way, with familiarity of that person you were with. And, you just there's a special bond and connection when you've been with someone that long that you can't just throw away. But sometimes you got to make the choice, what's best for you, what's best for her. So, take that into consideration before you say run back. Make sure you work on improving on yourself so you're better for you and for that relationship if you go back. So good luck, man. That's my advice is, look out for you right now. Take care, be a better version of yourself. So for the next person, or even for if you end up getting back with your ex. I can relate to this one. My girlfriend is super messy. I'm living with her now. How should I approach this without offending? Well, it is what it is, delicately. I says, you just have to like have like a talk. You just go, hey, I would appreciate if you'd help me with this. I think that this is unacceptable for us to have the dishes like this all the time. Can you help me with this? You have to just talk with her the way you would talk with her when you're trying to get anything, just with compassion, with delicacy, with, taking her feelings into account. I mean, there's no need to fight about it. There's no need to, fly off the handle. Like, you messy asshole. No, you're not going to be like that. Right. You're just going to be like, hey, honey, this is like really, do we really want to live like this? Can we work together and make this a better living space? You'll find your way, man. You know her better than anyone knows her. So what's her likes and dislikes? What moves her? What makes her feel special? What makes her smile? What makes her angry? You know all the triggers. So just stay away from those. Talk to her with some compassion. Don't make it about what she's doing wrong. Make it about what you want it to be. It's not about like, hey, you're so messy. It's about, I would like to be cleaner. It's not about, hey, you always leave everything over there. It's more like, hey, it'd be great if we could be more organized. It's all about how you approach it. Don't blame her because that's what she's going to feel bad about, because she knows she messy. They know they messy. Rachel's messy. I'm messy. We're both messy, so that's why it works. But sometimes I'm like, yo, you got to help me. I'm not a maid. You know what I mean? Help me with this. Can you, and she'll do it. So you just have to talk to her. Just talk to her, and it's going to be fine. All right? Good luck. Let's see this is the last one, guys. Last one today. And once again, this part of the episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. That's better, H-E-L-P, help. And go to their website, betterhelp.com/Griffin, and you'll get 10% off some real counseling. And if you need it, go do it. Because this is the times we're in right now. It's affordable, it's safe, it's convenient. BetterHelp. All right. Last one, advice on dating for a single girl. I'm ready to throw in the towel. This real world advice. I mean, we always feel this way. First of all, everybody has certain expectations of who they think they should be with, as opposed to who is out there for you. And so if you're only looking for, A, B, and C, and then you can't find that, you're not realizing that D, E, F, G, like there's so many other things out there. So no, I do not say you throw in the towel. I just say, you change your expectations. You just open yourself up to finding all kinds of different types of people. It's not settling. It's just opening yourself up to different horizons. You know what I mean? If you only date one way, like if you're someone that's like, you're always on Tinder and you're like, I can't find anyone. Well, get the fuck off Tinder. Find other ways. There's other dating apps. There's, you just got to find connections, reach out to your friends. Hey, you know anybody single? Or, your people that know you, maybe they know someone. And, you just got to put yourself out there and not think that because you haven't found it up to this point that's it for you. So I'm going to stop looking. And you don't have to look, live your life, and you'll meet someone else who's living their life. And then your lives are going to intertwine and you're going to be like, oh, wow, well, here this person is. You may have already met the person, but you wrote them off, So please, it's not over for you. It's not. You're going to be fine. Just work on you. Be the best version of yourself. And then someone will be there. Because you're going to run into someone because there's 7 billion people on the planet. You can't help but do it, All right, guys. That's a short but sweet episode of Riffin with Griffin. Once again, I want to thank our sponsor again, BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Griffin. They're great. So they're actually giving me a discount too. So I'm going to go check them out my damn self. I'll let you know how that goes. But I'm on Twitch every single day, Erik Griffin Gaming. I put those videos up on YouTube, Erik Griffin Gaming, my other channel. And I'm always on Twitch every single day. And make sure you check me out on the Potluck on the Crown channel on Twitch. And that's Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern for all of December. So if you're catching up and it's already like March and you're like, hey, what episode is this? Maybe I'm on a new show at this point right now. But for right now, for you new people that are watching in real time, Crown Channel in December. But once again, thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin. I appreciate you guys here every week, all the comments, and I get a lot of great feedback doing this show. People hit me up about real estate, about when I talk about something, they'll hit me up. Scientists will hit me up about COVID. Trump people will hit me up about this is what he's done right. It's like I love all the interaction. It's great. Just come at me respectfully, and we can move forward. It's all about how we treat each other. Let's treat each other with respect, and I'll interact with you. So thanks again for watching Riffin with Griffin, and I will see you next week.